All right, everybody. Sorry, we are just getting started a little later, but if you're watching this on recording, it doesn't matter. But Facebook Live is not talking, so with Zoom. So we are just going to record this. And if you are joining us, welcome. And I will, with no further ado, let's get started on our gut health talk. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And what I really cannot wait for you to, just is what can we do to help our digestion and help our healthy barrier function in our body? Because if we are not digesting is what breaks down food to give us our nutrients, deliver them in the body so that we can have healthy skin, healthy immune function, healthy hormone function. Our cells need nutrients. And if we're not properly breaking this down, we are going to have issues and a cascade of every other area of health. So that's what I really want to talk about today. A little bit about me is grew up in Wisconsin. I've always been an active person, athlete, loved life. That was me studying abroad, did some awesome things in New Zealand and Australia, and no health issues growing up. I joined the military. Overall, it was really great experience. But what I didn't know was chronic stress and what I was doing as a healthy person was leading to inflammation. So when I was 25, 26, my body said, nope, no more. I learned what inflammation was. I learned what pain was. And not only were my bone and joints hurting, but I started to gain weight. I couldn't work out. It affected my mental health. So fast forward to today, I have two little kiddos, a wonderful husband, and I love talking about how we can have lifestyle interventions to help this area of our life so that we can live a quality life. So the basics of the backdrop of this is we are not treating, curing, or diagnosing or preventing any diseases. We're just talking about what helps the body. So the reality is we're all facing problems. We have immune challenges. They could be small of like, I can't fight a cold very well anymore, to I have an autoimmune disease. There's a spectrum of that. Changeable bowels to, what, when I get nervous and anxious, I get constipated or I get the diarrhea, or I just know I'm not digesting as good, or I have pain after I eat stuff. Oral health concerns lead to a lot of other things. So just listening to a study the other day about Alzheimer's and bacteria in that health. So oral health anywhere from like, oh my gosh, root canal, cavity, those sort of things. They affect all of us in one way or another. Sleep habits, whether good or bad, we go through seasons of life where it might be more bad than more good. And then concentration and focus. I don't know about you, but especially these days, everything's coming at us and we have trouble, and sometimes we just freeze because we can't process and think. So where does all of this come from and what are some of the lifestyle? Well, first of all, poor sleep. There is a saying that poor diet will kill you slowly over time, but poor sleep will kill you quickly. Poor sleep is so important to our health that if we're not getting good sleep, it is impacting our health in other ways. And sleep is when we're supposed to be resting and digesting. And the ability to calm down helps our gut and our system repair. So if we're not sleeping, we're missing a key point of our digestive system and being able to repair with that. And then fiber. We are not getting enough fiber. I want you to look at the foods that have fiber in it. It's the fruits, it's the veggies, it's the seeds, it's the, the outside layers of it. It's the legumes. It's the chia seeds and that sort of thing. And when you look at all that color and all that fiber, that is what produces that. Those are the nutrients for the bacteria in our gut. So if we are not having that fiber in there, we're missing out on nutrients. So we're not getting enough fiber. And if you look, just look at your plate, look at your kids' plate, look at your family plates. A lot of it is the breads and the processed meats and the cheeses that just does not have the fiber we need. We're not getting enough fiber. Then medications are impacting our health. Every medication will lead to a nutrient deficiency in one way or another. A great example of that is birth control. For women, it depletes your B vitamins. So a lot of times when people go on birth control, they start to notice that they have more anxiety. Why? It's because if we're not supplementing and compensating for the medications that we're on, it's going to lead to further health complications. Not saying medication is bad. I'm just saying we need to know the risk that is associated with it, especially as it impacts our gut health. And then another thing is the overuse of antibiotics. I don't want to go into it too much, but antibiotics, they kill the good and bad bacteria in our system. But if we're not properly replenishing that, we are setting our digestive tract up for failure because we're wiping everything out and we're not replacing it with good stuff. So that's affecting our health. And then stress. Stress weakens our immune system. It helps prevent us from sleeping. It helps us from, being fully to embrace those around us and be present in the moment. Stress is definitely impacting our life. How does this play with the immune system? Our immune system, we think of the first line, the line of defense is our body's cells, but our daily habits and stressors and environments play into that. Our immune system is a complex system of chemicals, proteins that are fighting off invaders, and its function is critically dependent on our lifestyle. If you are not sleeping, eating healthy, and including the right supplements and the right fitness for your routine, your immune system is going to be compromised. And the immune system is very closely related to the digestive system. 70% of your immune system is in your gut, in your digestive system. So they go hand in hand. If we're helping our digestive system, we're helping our immune system, and vice versa. So I love that. What is the digestive system? Let's talk about that. Overall, it's a huge chemical factory that helps us digest food, produce vitamins, regulate hormones, excrete toxins, produce healing compounds, and keeping our gut healthy. It starts with our mouth, and we move right down. One of the tips I want to say is chew your food. Not only chewing your food helps break it down so your stomach doesn't have to as much, but it's going to start releasing enzymes that help break down in the saliva. Breathing before you eat, stimulating that vagus nerve. That's going to help your body digest. So it starts with your teeth and your mouth and the saliva, then goes down the esophagus, which people have issues with. So that's where we're going to talk about some things to help that esophagus. Then it goes into the stomach, which is basically emulsing things for 4 hours, breaking it down, and then releasing it into the small intestines. And that's about 6 feet long. And in here, the major food groups are broken down: fat, protein, carbohydrates, into amino acids, sugars, fatty acids. And those nutrients are broken down, supposed to go through the microvilli, where the nutrients are absorbed. And those nutrients are supposed to go into the blood system and taken to Lord knows where: the eyes, the toes, the brain. Hey, my white blood cells need some vitamin C, so it's going to take that. So if you don't have nutrients to deliver there's nutrients aren't going to go to your cells, and your cells are going to suffer for it. Then we have the colon and the large intestines. That this is a longer duration of stay, 12 to 14 hours of a residence, and that's continuing to break it down and get us closer to the stool sample that comes out. In this time, the pancreas is throwing in enzymes to help break stuff down. The liver receives blood from the gut, is filtering it out, removing toxins. So the liver is a huge part of the digestive system. That's why we talk about detoxing, to help make sure that our liver, we detox daily, but making sure that we're supporting natural liver detox, because it's doing so much to help get the toxins out of our body. So if we're just filtering toxins out, but we're not releasing it, we're just going to be have more toxins that we're subject to. So we need to be sure we're eliminating at least twice a day. Okay. And then the gallbladder. The gallbladder is, kicking up that bile. So you see, like, people with gallbladder issues, the gallbladder might need some more support. So all this, that's kind of a big picture, but let's narrow it down to the cells right in that colon, the digestive tract. If you see that little picture there, you've got these tight juncture cells, and they're semi-permeable. Those microvilli, are jazz hands, are going to, once the nutrients are broken down, take those nutrients into the blood system. That's what we want. but we have these things called Peyer's pest where we get a permeable gut. And this is going to, the leaky gut. This is going to affect our energy, moods, weight, skin, joints, mental acuity, respiratory function. So if you're somebody who you're struggling with autoimmune, the brain fog, the painful digestion, the not eliminating too much, not eliminating at all, that's as good because there is issues with this system right here. So we're going to talk about that. And why it's really important is because our immune defense is in there. Our intestinal tract is a major source of lymphocytes, mast cells, and they're high concentration in the gut. So in this gut is necessary for removing healthy toxins. So basically this little tube in there is what keeps the good nutrients separated from the toxic sewage nutrients. So we want to make sure that this layer is healthy. So what can cause issues? Well, we talked about prescription medications. We didn't talk about too much here, but the poor diet, high refined sugars, we need to cut out the processed grains, the wheat and the dairy. So if you're asking, Anna, so what am I supposed to do? What diet am I supposed to do? There's so many things out there, right? I totally understand you, feel you. I train people on basically how to eat healthy, balancing our blood sugar. And that's mainly from increasing the fruits and vegetables, decreasing in the fibrous foods, and decreasing the processed meats, the sugars, the carbs. If you're looking for the best, we want to start by cutting gluten and dairy. That's the best thing that you can do. If you need to work with a coach, let me know. We can find that. But the best thing that you can do is start to cut out the crap stuff that's hurting us, okay? And then we want to talk about bringing stuff into Heal and Seal It. So, so if you're wondering, should I do keto? That I would first start off by just making sure that you're eating the right nutrient dense food, and then talk about, how can we fine tune this a little more. If you're already there and you're wondering, we can talk offline about what would be best for you once I hear what you're doing and we can see. But we need to be starting to eat more foods, the nuts, the seeds, and the nutrient-dense phytochemicals. Because good bacteria eat certain food. Bad bacteria eat certain food. If you want a healthy gut, you need good bacteria. You need to feed those good bacteria so that you can keep them alive, okay? So we're not drinking enough water, we're dehydrated, so our cells don't have those H2O molecules they need. We have low stomach acid, so we're not able to break stuff down. All these issues are causing poor digestion. So what can we do about that? And what does this look like? So on the left, you see that's what a normal healthy colon looks like. It's beautiful. It's the right amount of pink. The right side is ulcerative colitis. Colitis is inflammation in the colon, okay? That comes from the prescription medication, the poor diet, all those, the unhealthy bacteria level is what signs of that. So this breaks into a bigger picture, what I kind of talked about. And as you can see, when we have that juncture in there, that's when, instead of just the nutrients getting in, that's when the antigens, the bacteria, undigested food, those full chicken proteins, if we have a permeable gut, get into the blood system. And the blood system says, oh my gosh, what the heck is this? This is a foreign invader. It starts attacking those bacteria, and it produces an inflammatory response. Ulcerative colitis, inflammation of the colon. What does this mean? Acute inflammatory response is wonderful. It's beautiful. We need it. Our body was designed to have an inflammatory response. It's a good thing. Chronic inflammation, if we never heal and seal that gut, chronic bacteria, chronic undigested foods getting through there elicits a chronic immune response. That means inflammation all the time. Inflammation is the foundation of a lot of disease states we see: cancer, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's disease, pulmonary disease, arthritis, autoimmune, neurological diseases, diabetes, right? So if we want to help stop those pathways from taking, everybody, yours might pick cancer, your neighbors, it might pick an autoimmune disease, right? So we want to stop that. We need to lower inflammation. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I want you to think about Your gut is basically the foundation of whether you're inflamed or you're not. And I want you to think about a garden. When we garden, we need specific tools to help us garden. So we're going to talk about tools that are going to help you build this beautiful garden. Because when a beautiful garden, we're letting the right things in, the sunlight, the water, but we're also taking the bad things out. We're weeding, and we probably are setting up a barrier, a fence to keep the rabbits out, the deer out, right? And that's what produces food that produces life. And that is our gut. Not only that, though, it's not just about, people think like, okay, I want a healthy gut, or because I know it'll help me lose weight, and it's not just that sort of thing. It's so that we can have a quality life, that we're living out our purpose here on this earth because we feel good, we have energy, and we're able to pass our gifts onto the world because we're not constantly battling a disease state. But the opposite of that is not tending to our garden, is not tending to our digestive health, right? So we're not weeding. We're not paying attention to it. We're letting anything come in, and we letting things overgrow the point that we go out and we're like, it's just too much, and I walk away. Well, that's when we need a little help. That's when we might need a little more support. Just the average lawnmower won't do. Like when you were younger, you're like, oh, I just stopped eating bread and I'm fine. It's like, well, now I'm not eating bread and I'm still not okay. You need more tools. You might need a bigger lawnmower, right? You might need a bigger plan for a shorter period of time to weed out the bad stuff and replanting the good stuff. It takes time, okay? And overall, so what does if somebody said, what does your internal garden look like? Is it full of weeds? And it might be a little bit of both. So that's why I want to talk to you about what we can do. So one of the first things that we can do is eating the right foods. Prebiotic food, probiotic food. What does that mean? Prebiotic, chicory root, Jerusalem artichoke, asparagus, onions, bananas, all those foods, whole foods, are going to help be food for the bacteria, okay? It's not necessarily bacteria, but it's food for the bacteria. And then you have soluble, non-soluble fiber that is also food for the bacteria. So, and then you have fermented foods or probiotics that are going to be good bacteria that are literally coming in and creating a host, and they are creating healthy cells in that intestinal lining. Okay, so what you eat is hugely important. Fiber, pre and probiotic food, whole foods will automatically supply this. Then you've got to be exercising, because when you actually exercise, you're moving, especially after you eat, go for a little walk. That helps literally move and help food move through the digestive tract. Drinking plenty of fluids, quality water. And I want to make a note on this, that a lot of prescription medications people are peeing out, they're going into our water system. People and filters, and city filters are not filtering through. So you want to look at getting good water system filters so that you're not recontaminating yourself. And you're like, well, I don't take birth control, but it's traceable in me because you're probably drinking it. Okay. Reduce consumption of highly refined sugars and simple carbohydrates. Again, I understand the relationship with food can sometimes be very unhealthy and addictive. So if that is you, reach out to me. That's something I'm very passionate about. I've overcome an eating disorder, and now I have a healthy relationship with food. So it is possible. And then supplementation to help heal and seal that gut. That's a typo right there. But we not only need to stop eating the bad food, but we need to heal the gut. And that's where we might need to take it up a level in our supplementation. And so if you are like, you know what, Anna, I just need a few things, then your commitment to supplementation is going to be a little less. If you're like, I am a 10 out of 10 terrible case, you're probably going to need some more. It's going to be a more therapeutic intervention point. So what do we need? What is prebiotic food? It's indigestible fiber that feeds good bacteria, promoting healthy probiotic health. I said that. Probiotic is helpful bacteria that research shows benefits overall health, cognitive well-being, even our waistline, psychological disorders, probiotic health. What gut bacteria you have dictates your health. It just does. And then functional fiber, isolated, non-digestible. Functional fiber is girth. It is like the substance that helps move food through and move it right out of you. And on the right, you see just different nutrients and phytonutrients. So the colors in there are what helps feed the good probiotics in your mix. So what is fiber? I kind of just talked about this. But what's critical is most people are not getting enough. Women should at least be getting 25 grams of fiber, men 30 grams of fiber a day. So that's what helps maintain bowels, microflora, nutrient absorption, bowel regularity, fecal volume. Again, we need to be moving that food out of us. Otherwise, we're going to be retoxifying. So what are some things that can help? The last thing I want to do is cause more stress. Oh my God, Anna said I need more fiber. Holy crap, I'm already not eating enough. Now I need to eat more. That's where supplementation can help be an easy button. If you want to pick one thing, we have an awesome fiber powder at the office, has 9 grams. But this comes from chicory root. I'm going to talk about some other things in it. It has L-glutamine, which is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory for our immune system. And it has 1,000 grams of that. And it also has probiotics. And I just said you needed to eat probiotics. And I don't want to eat chicory root. And I don't want to eat kimchi. Well, this is going to supply some more good bacteria that's going to feed and help our immune system. So it's not just fiber powder. It's also probiotics that are talked about we need. It's also glutamine. You can have 1 to 2 scoops of this a day. You can put it in water. I put it in my shakes, but it helps complement, and it's 1/3 of your daily value. So if you have, a salad, this and some vegetables along the way, this is going to help fill the mark. You don't have to take this every day, but I always take it when I'm traveling because I'm just eating less vegetables anyways. So it keeps me regular even when I'm traveling. So I love this product. It's an easy button to come alongside of you because I can tell you all day long to eat healthier, and you might try, but we're still going to need different things. The other thing that goes really well with that in the same line is some complete greens, and getting just 2 scoops of these greens equals 7 salads. So I'm not just talking to you about go change your lifestyle, good luck. These are easy buttons to have in your medicine cabinet when you're like, ooh, I'm not feeling good. I haven't been eating good. I take this during the holidays. I still eat my cookies, but I take this. At least I know I'm getting some good things in there. So those I really like. So let's talk about probiotics. We talked about it a little. There's clinical studies indicating that lactobacilli and bifidobacteria supplementation supports healthy intestinal epithelial. Those are the cells in your gut lining. The cells are your barrier. If you don't have a good gut bacteria, you're not going to have a good barrier. It's like having a tent in Wisconsin during winter. Do you want to sleep in a tent? No, it's going to cause tons of stresses, extra stresses, but you want to be in a house with insulation. That's what probiotics are. And lactobacilli and bifidobacteria are like the Tom Brady. Not only are they amazing in what they do, but they help every other good bacteria look amazing as well. So we really want to make sure that we're having this. We know that recent research is showing that gut microbiota is critical determination of nutrient intake, energy regulation, and ultimately weight and metabolic disorders. Not only that, they look at gut health of autistic people and non-autistic people. They have different gut bacteria because gut bacteria is related to neurological concerns. They give some people with different disease states, fecal transplants. They literally transplant somebody else's bacteria into a person with bad bacteria, and they have wonderful health benefits. Vice versa, they transplant bad bacteria into a healthy person, they start to see disease state. We need to be making sure we get probiotics. Now, I like kimchi, I eat my probiotic rich food, I like kefir and that sort of thing, but there's nothing that replaces having a supplement on hand that is an easy button. What's more so I can travel with this. It has bacteria, it has shelf life protective capabilities that it doesn't have to be refrigerated. Okay. So this is my easy button. I eat good food, which is an icing on the cake, and I have this as well because we need diversity. This has over 10 strands. and it's feeding the good guys. So I want you to think of your digestive tract as a hotel. A hotel can only, if it has 100 rooms and 4 people can sit in a room, it can only hold 400 people. And once that's full, everybody else has to move on. Do you want your hotel filled with good people that are going to treat your rooms nicely and not destroy it and pay and then leave when they need to? Or do you want it with robbers and thieves and people are going to disrupt it? No, right? So the idea is to fill it with good people, then bad people can't even come and stay. That's the same as bacteria, right? If we are filled with good bacteria, bad bacteria can't stay. Bad bacteria leads to poor nutrition, psychological challenges, because our gut is connected to our brain through the vagus nerve. So if our gut bacteria is off, our brain health is going to be off. We're more susceptible to infections and physical discomfort, the pain and the bloating. So we want friendly, good bacteria. That's why you don't want to take a day off of getting good bacteria. And this is an easy button, but you don't want to just get one. I see a lot of people are like, oh, I take acidophilus, but it's great. That's awesome. But we need diversity. And lactobacillus, there's so much research in that, but there is 6 different strands of lactobacillus bacteria. And it's so important for helping produce vitamin K, lactase, which helps break down milk, B vitamins, folic acid, and so on. So lactic bacillus bacteria is amazing. Then bifidobacteria bacteria, it constitutes of 95% of the gut bacteria population in healthy breastfed babies is bifidobacteria bacteria. Again, healthy bacteria has a correlation between these. Healthy people have these sort of probiotics in their gut. So make sure that you get them in, and then make sure that you're eating healthy food to help feed these bacteria. I actually take these at night, sometimes in the middle of the night, but I take them they have to be on an empty stomach. So after 2 hours after you've eaten, and then I go to sleep. And while I'm sleeping, my body is resting and repairing. And these, I put 10 billion CFUs, colony forming units in, and they're replicating while I sleep because I'm giving my body time. So you want your probiotic to replicate like good Catholics. I heard that saying and it makes total sense to me. So you really want to maximize your probiotics, take them at night or take them in the morning before food. Totally fine. The best time is to take them, but you really want those replicating. Now, somebody said, Anna, those only have 10 billion CFUs in it. My other one has 50 CFUs in it. Well, I'm going to talk about why the number doesn't necessarily matter as long as it's the right technology. So there's live back in here that helps keep it encapsulated so that it's more resistant to stomach acid. This is BioTrack technology. In that graph there, that's blue. We can see that BioTrack technology helps keep it from being damaged by lactic acid or the stomach acid. So a lot of times they put more probiotics in because they know the die-off is higher, so that they're hoping that you get 10 billion delivered to you. Whereas this ensures that you get 10 billion to you, even in the lower intestine. It's awesome. It's gluten-free, it's vegetarian, it has BioTrack in live back, trademark technology that it doesn't have to be refrigerated, and it's protected from the stomach acid. So let's go into the immune system a little more by talking about aloe. If you've ever heard that aloe is good and it's amazing, it's because it is, but not all aloe is treated similarly. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. But aloe is amazing anti-inflammatory. If you have a burn on your skin, you put aloe on it, right? The sun. Well, think of the skin on the outside. That's what your digestive system is. So if aloe helps on the outside, it's going to help on the inside. Whatever goes on the outside of our skin, if you have bad skin, that is the sign that your digestive tract is off. So helping heal, sometimes people have terrible rosacea and in that inflammatory skin, and just starting aloe helps lower the inflammation in their body, which then therefore you see benefits on the skin. It's an antioxidant. What is an antioxidant? There's cells, all their job is to do is mess people up. You know, that family member who they just come in and they want to create a storm. And every Christmas you're like, okay, how do we distract and keep, how do we keep them at bay? We don't talk about politics because that's going to cause a ton of chaos, right? So it's almost like not talking about politics is an antioxidant. It helps from destroying relationships, destroying people, destroying cells. So aloe has an antioxidant concentration and high effects. It has the polyphenols that are very antioxidant. So did I just go back? So knowing your aloe, so some aloe can have a very laxative effect, but if you take certain compounds of it out, it won't have a laxative effect, but it will still have the benefits. But aloe also has beta glucans, which we know if you've looked at our immune health is amazing for gut health and immunity. So we really want to be increasing our beta glucans at this time, reishi mushrooms, but aloe is also antiviral. So if you know anybody trying to fight viruses right now, help supporting that. But this aloe in particular, I see so many people with inflamed, high acidic symptoms, and drinking this really helps calm the inflammation and balance the pH of the body so our acid is in balance. It helps with immune function, the gut barrier, because it's helping the epithelial lining of those cells and it's helping good bacteria. So this is a strawberry kiwi and I love it. My kids drink it. It's so good. There's a natural flavor as well. I have both because sometimes I just put the natural one in my smoothies and I just drink this straight up. My kids think it's juice. Why do I love this one and why don't I go buy it from aloe from a store? This one is certified by the International Aloe Council. It always wins #1. It's like the superstar of aloes out there in the market. It's an amazing product that has over 100% seal of approval because it's that high quality. So you want to make sure that you're getting quality. Sometimes when you see aloe, it says 100% aloe. That's because they took a tablespoon of 100% aloe, dumped it in a bunch of water, and there's 100% aloe in there. Yeah, watered down 100% aloe is not going to be as effective as truly 100+% of aloe because they take the aloe plant and then they reconcentrate it. So it's double aloe. It's really amazing. So if you have problems with stomach acid imbalances, just the esophageal lining, and again, we see that inflammation, that ulcerative colitis, if that's a concern of your aloes, along with the probiotics are really helpful. So what else helps our gut health and break down food? If you've ever heard of enzymes, we talked about that. The minute you start chewing, your body's supposed to, from the pancreas, kick in enzymes to help break it down. But sometimes we just are not producing enough enzymes, especially in pregnancy. When I'm pregnant, I kick up my enzymes because there's much more body processes that enzymes need to help catalyze to get started. So we need to supplement with some enzymes. So how do we do that? I get them through this. There's literally an experiment I could do. I'm not doing it today for sake of time, but you dump a powder of this in pudding and leave it sit for 5 minutes and it turns into liquid. It liquefies, it breaks it down for you. So I like these. They have packets or they have the scoops of this. It's digestive, so it's multiple enzymes helping break down fats, carbs, proteins, lactase, not just one type of enzyme. So it's really good. It has lactospore in there. Lactospore is shown to improve gut bacteria. So this, again, I don't go to Walmart and buy my products because they don't have trademarked ingredients. This has a trademarked ingredients. It's a nutraceutical grade, meaning you want the scrutiny of pharmaceuticals before you go on a blood pressure medication, right? Nutraceuticals have the same amount of rigorous studies. It's just really great. So if you have that stomach pain every time after you eat, that bloating, that's a sign you're not breaking stuff down. No, this is important because if you're not breaking stuff down, that means food is fermentating in you. There are literally diseases caused from alcohol that you can have a high alcohol content because your food is fermenting in you. I've seen people get arrested for drunk driving off of not fermenting their food, even if they've not had a drink to eat. I'm not saying that's everybody, but we need to be breaking down our food. There's another enzyme called bromelain. If you are somebody who really has pain in your joints from certain food, this is the one for you. It really helps with breaking down a barrier by protein layers that keep cells, unhealthy cells, from the immune system being able to properly get rid of them. I've seen people with certain autoimmune conditions react very well to this because it helps the immune response, and it helps the hyperpermeability. It helps address that concern. It's really great. So again, digestive enzyme bromelain, you could try one or the other. Again, if you have a lot of joint discomfort and those autoimmune concerns, bromelain might be a good supportive agent for you. We also have digestive enzymes made for kids on the spectrum. They're good for adults and kids. They're just more micropulverized. They have more capabilities. I say like the adult version is kind of like the standard version of a car, you know, very mild. But then you've got the Cadillac version, and those are kids' digestive enzymes coming in with that bromelain and with that kiwi extract, and it really helps break it down more. A lot of kids on the spectrum have very sensitive guts. We really come in there and help support with aloe probiotics. We got to get that gut working, and we see amazing behavioral changes. So what are the diet rules? On top, you see healthy colors, fruits, vegetables, bananas, yellows, oranges. On bottom, you see all the ice cream, the fake colors and sugars. We need to be eating whole foods with true color. But we can't always get those good nutrients. So what are some other key players that can help us? Because those nutrients are great, but one, you might be like me, like I just don't eat, I just don't have access to some of that stuff all day, right? So what are some other things that we can do that you're like, okay, Anna, I'm on probiotics, I've tried digestive enzymes, but I'm still having gut concerns. What are some additional things that we can bring in? Let's introduce the astaxanthin. Astaxanthin comes from, remember we just talked about those powerful foods. It is literally this deep red color that comes from the lobster, that comes from salmon, that deep pink sockeye salmon. It's carotenoids, and it is the antioxidant. Remember I talked about antioxidant helps the volatile, you know, grandma, aunt, or uncle who's always bringing up politics at Christmas time. Well, think of somebody who is just like a terrible, you know, constantly causing issues. You want to bring in astaxanthin to help calm that down. Astaxanthin is amazing for helping with antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. It's amazing with blood pressure, oxidative stress, eye health, cognitive health. It's fat soluble antioxidants. So there's water soluble antioxidants like vitamin C, but you also need fat soluble so that it can get into those the lipid layers of cells to help bring antioxidants to lipid layers. I hope that makes sense. But it also helps with gut permeability in the digestive tract and immune functions in the digestive tract, epigastric health. Studies show that it helps with that. So if you are like, Anna, I need more health, and not only do I have gut health issues, but I have concerns about cognitive health. My eye health is failing. I have blood pressure, you know, the concerns, then this astaxanthin is going to be a no-brainer because it hits so many layers and areas of digestive health and other health. So if you're like, okay, I probiotics check, I got that, but what's something else I can take, and you have all these other concerns, you're really going to want to look at astaxanthin. One of the things, this isn't directly it's not only directly related to digestive health, my kids are crying, but it is awesome. Autophagy, whatever you want to call it, is basically pathways that clean up cells. They remove debris, they eat damaged proteins, they eat damaged mitochondria and bad germs. So autophagy is a process in your body meant to eliminate those. Astaxanthin is a promising therapeutic agent in the treatment of a wide variety of diseases by regulating this pathway. Without astaxanthin, you're not going to be able to clean up bad things that are going on. If your digestive tract is meant to help with those processes and get rid of that stuff, astaxanthin will indirectly help that. So I want to talk to you about another thing that astaxanthin directly impacts that makes our gut health either good or bad. On the left, you see that normal cell. You know, what does that mean? You have an intermucosal layer. That intermucosal layer is beneficial for good bacteria. In a healthy gut, you have a healthy level of mucosal layer. That's going to be your barrier between your cells and your bacteria. It's protective layer. Colitis, inflammation, it's all messed up. It's the bacteria is penetrating into the intestinal epithelial layers. In that mucosal layer is immunoglobulin A, okay? The primary compound in there. And astaxanthin helps promote and increase IgA levels in the gut. It's going to directly help that barrier between bad bacteria and your cells, okay? So astaxanthin is really important for helping that immune globulin. So it's so good. If you're wondering, is astaxanthin right for me? If you are a weekend warrior, if you really hit it with the oxidative stress because you're working out more, there's a lot of cardiovascular support. There's a lot of studies with athletes and astaxanthin not only helping with skin health, but also that cardiovascular health and helping with like soccer players, that oxidative stress, that excess. So if you're a marathon runner, astaxanthin is going to be a great product for you. All right, so why the Nutrimetrics one, you might be asking, why in this isotonic form? Well, you can take 0.5 milligrams of astaxanthin, but studies don't show that 0.5 milligrams of astaxanthin have the clinical results that we want to see. It shows that 6 grams of astaxanthin is what gives us those clinical results that I talked about here. In order to say it can help with this, you need to be making sure that you're getting enough. 6 milligrams is what's been shown to help. Not only that, it also has potassium, it has vitamin C in it, it has vitamin E in it, and it's drinkable. I love it. It also comes from algae source, so it's a vegetarian source. So it's awesome with that. If you don't want the packet, we do have a pill form that you can take it in as well. But it's because it has clinical ingredients, Astareal. It's a patented ingredient. It's amazing, powerful, but that you can only get through us, nowhere else. So that's why I like that one. Let's quick talk about collagen, okay? So astaxanthin is great. We talked about that. What about collagen? Well, collagen, what we get from the bone broths and what we hear everybody, it's all the rage. What is collagen? It's the most abundant protein in the body, and it's found in our connective tissue. Collagen is the glue that holds us together. As we age, we start producing less and less and less, okay? So think of everything being firm when you're young. We see wrinkles as a result of not having enough collagen. So how can we get more? Because it impacts our gut. We see there's studies there that are showing links between inflammation in the gut and lack of collagen. This one study showed that plasma level of collagen type 3 alpha-1 chain development of strictures in pediatric patients with Crohn's. Not enough collagen. We see a stricture is where there's weakened issues. That's going to cause obstructions in being able to eliminate. So collagen can help those structures of every part where where collagen is in our body, from our skin to our bones to our joint. We taught what we see there, and our digestive tract. It can help. Remember that tight junctures, it helps with gut permeability, be the right amount of permeability, be able to get the nutrients through, but protect the bad guys from getting in as well. We see glycine, which is an amino acid in collagen, possesses significant anti-ulcer cytoprotective activity by protecting the mucus. Remember that mucus layer that we talked about? Collagen helps that inner mucus layer, just like astaxanthin. So bringing in collagen is going to be another level of gut health that we can help. And the side effect is that it helps your skin, it helps all these other things. So in our hair, in our nails, in our bones, and our digestive tract. So if you're somebody, collagen is a great product for me. I have knee and joint pain from excess use from the military. So collagen is a no-brainer because I also have digestive concerns and I also don't want to age. I want to look good all the time. Why the one that I recommend, the pure collagen, not only is it hydrolyzed, which means that it's broken down into shorter chains so it's better absorbed. This is in a liquid form. The liquid form means it's just more pure and it's going to be more effective. So I really like that one. I have one more product to talk about that could help support your gut health. Again, we should be on probiotics. We should have enzymes on hand and aloe on hand as needed, take all the time. But these are going to be extra things to help. We talked about astaxanthin. If cardiovascular, eye health, skin health, and gut permeability is your concern, then you definitely want to talk about that. But if your gut is more impaired gut health is more associated with the mental health, we're really going to want to look at the full spectrum hemp along with black cumin seed, because that helps support the endocannabinoid system, which is very closely related to gastrointestinal health, endocrine system, neurological system. But the endocannabinoid system is a complex influence. I'm not going to go too much into this, but just know that the endocannabinoid system, in case of injury or pain, system stabilizes nerve cells, calms immune cells, coordinates healing. So we might need to bring in safe levels of full spectrum hemp without the THC to help support these systems. It's going to help you naturally adapt. If you don't have enough, it'll naturally bring you up. But if you have too much of stuff that's causing issues, it's going to help naturally bring it down. The studies show that cannabinoids mediate opposing effects on inflammation and induced intestinal permeability. There's receptors in the cannabinoid receptors that regulate gut GI motility, so the movement, secretion, and maintenance of that epithelial barrier and integrity. It helps gut permeability and it helps lower inflammation. Why is this important? I talked about our brain being connected to our gut. Our gut is what produces most of our serotonin and dopamine. And if that's inflamed, it's going to send messages to our brain that's not okay. If our brain is anxious, it's going to send gut messages to our gut to not move, to not be as healthy. The endocannabinoid system can help this. As you can see, it helps support memory, cognitive attention. It helps in stressful situations. It helps mental and physical, helps with calmness, helps with triglyceride, blood glucose levels, cholesterol, and it helps may assist with the gastric tone and comfort of the digestive system. So it has tons of other positive benefits because it's going to help support the endocannabinoid system that's directly related with a lot of those functions. It's also going to help that gut permeability and help support that gut integrity. So again, I take all of these at different times, but if I'm more stressed out and I'm worried about gut health, I'm going to take the cannabiquin, because not only does it have full spectrum hemp, 170 milligrams per serving, it also has black cumin seed, which helps support my immune system. So I know that I'm stressed. I know my immune system is going to take a hit. I'm going to take this. If I know that I'm working out more, playing soccer, more oxidative stress, and I'm worried about my gut health, I'm going to take astaxanthin. And if I know that, but in general, I'm always going to take collagen because I don't want the collagen to fade. So to wrap it all up, what can we do? First of all, I talked about we've got to cut the crap up foods, the carbonated beverages, the refined sugars. We've got to cut a lot of that stuff, and we've got to add in whole grains. So we've got to stop introducing the bad guys. We got to start introducing the good sides. But in the meantime, we need to heal this gut layer, because you can stop eating gluten, but if there's still a juncture, we need to be replenishing it with nutrients that help bring this healthy system back. That's where supplementation comes in. It could be adding in some fiber and some greens. It could be adding in some probiotics and some aloe. I can talk to you about what's going to be best for you. We need to start chewing our food. We need to slow down. Take a breath. things like warm lemon water, apple cider vinegar, that's going to all help the systems that we need, right? And then choose an additional add-on. Like I said, if joint concern and gut health is a concern, let's look at collagen. If extra oxidative stress and vision health, then let's look at astaxanthin. If mental health is concerned, let's look at adding in something that helps the endocannabinoid system. But just know that you have to give yourself time. It took time to get you to this point of sickness. It's going to take time to repair and rest. So we need that. And if you have further issues, that's when you want to just start with some of these principles. It's very low risk way to start. And then if you're not getting answers, then we might want to look at testing. And I can help connect you to some great people who do testing. So thank you so much for your time. The ding of the bell means it's time to wrap it up. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Please let us know if we can help you out. Give our office a call. We'd love to see what we can do. Bye-bye. All right, stop recording.